Now, Betty, what are we going to do tonight?
I'm going to kick some ass!
Welcome to Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move, and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Rock and Big Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast with E-Rock and Big Z. Episode 106 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your official TCSF shirts now. As always, I am Big Z, and this week writing a little solo because A-Rock is on assignment out there with the family doing this thing, so he'll be back next week for episode 107. But what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. If you're a first-timer or a long-timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us a review on your listening app of choice. You can find us on Facebook at True Chicago Fans. You can find us at Twitter, True Chi Fans, and on IG at True Chicago Sports Fans. So definitely hit us up on the DMs, follow us, like our stuff, man. Share it with a bunch of people that you like. I know not everybody likes sports, but there's a lot of us that do, and you know what? We're an outlet for you guys. So share it. Just share it. All right, so I get to ask myself, so Z, how was your week? Well, my week was actually pretty jam-packed. Yes. Thanks for asking, Z. This past Friday, me and Mike Logic attended a comedy show by Tight Ship Comedy and saw Nate Craig over at the Half Sour in the South Loop. Tons of good laughs and a really good old fashions. It's very rare to find a good bar with a good bartender or barista or mixologist, whatever you want to call yourself. That's all good with me, as long as you can make me a great old fashioned. I think we had about a few. I'm not gonna say just a number, because we had a few. So it was pretty cool. I've never been to Half Sour. The comedy show was downstairs in the basement. I think it seated about maybe 50 people, if that. Very intimate. Me and Mike Latch sat right in front. We got roasted a little bit, but that's part of being at comedy. You put yourself in the front row, you're going to get talked about. But we had a great time. We got to meet all the comics afterwards, interact a little bit. We follow each other on social media. It was a really good time. So he's somebody that I would love to go see again. I'll check out his stuff. So he goes. So his name is Nate Craig, and you'll find him on IG. I think he opened up for Bill Burr. So if Bill Burr is finding these gem comics all over the world, just like Joey Villagomez as well, has done some stuff with Bill Burr. Yeah, you gotta follow these guys. Support local talent. So definitely follow Nate Craig, follow us, and look out for that good funny content that they put out there. Also, last week was my last week at bowling. Yeah, bowling at Diversity is finally over for me, because next week is like for championship, and we're nowhere near that. So I'll be actually working that Wednesday night instead of bowling with the guys. It is their last week of bowling competitively at the Diversity Modelo League, I think it's called. Yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, I definitely did not have a good season at all. I don't know what's going on. I think it's my mechanics, or I'm too much in my head. I'm thinking too much. And just say, if you're not familiar with bowling, different lane patterns, what they mean by that is like where they put the oil. Different houses have different lane patterns, or sometimes they won't even oil them at all, and that makes a huge difference. And depending on the type of bowling ball that you're using, the bowling balls that are at the alley are plastic, so they move the oil down towards further. So the type I use is a polyurethane. So it does pick up a lot of the oil. So it needs oil to react and make that crazy aggressive left turn. Yeah, definitely been sucking it up. So I've got to get my stuff together. Got to pick up my average, and I've got to be able to do better for the Tuesday League that starts in about 2 or 3 weeks. That one goes all the way through May, so I really got to step up my my bowling, and because we're the defending champs over there, so we've got to defend the crown. So defend the crown. All right. Lastly, for my week, I got some miles in on the bike. I was able to get on the fixie bike. Took it off the hook over there in the porch, and filled it up with air, and was like, all right, let's try this out. Let's see how it goes. I didn't intend to do as many miles as I did, but it was nice. It's very cathartic. It's very soothing. It's very disconnecting for me to go on my bike and just go get some miles in. So I can understand why runners do it. I have really bad knees, head, shoulder, knee, shoulders, and everything, toes. They're all messed up. So I choose the bike, and I get on the bike, and I cut through the neighborhood. I cut through all the way up to the 606. Got on the 606, and I was doing it about 3 or 4 times up and down. Definitely, I need to get back into that riding shape as well, especially because when you sit on the saddle or the seat, it takes a while to get used to. It's not the Schwinn wide butt seat with the springs in it. It's that hard plastic saddle that that these bikers use. So it definitely takes a while to get used to, but I'll get back on there. I think I did about almost 13 miles, 12.7 for my first bike ride of the season. So it's gonna take some time to get used to, but it is something that is fun to do. You could just put some music on and just go up and down the trail, or go to the lakefront, or wherever you like to go. If you like to go to the forest preserve, those are awesome too. Those bike rides are awesome. You get that scenic stuff, get to see some deer maybe. But again, if you can get out there, do it, be active, be good to yourself. And if you want a bike ride with me, let me know. Hit me up, hit the DM, and we'll get some miles in, and then we'll get some good grub afterwards to replenish those calories. All right, let's get into the show this week. Baseball is back. From the All-Star break, we have the Cubs and Sox, how they fared with their first series back. The Sky continue to steamroll the NBA, and are the Fire a really playoff contender? Say what? See, he can't stop me, so I can talk about the Fire. The Fire. Anyways, and of course, we got Stirring the Pot and What You Looking At. This week, baseball is back. How have the Cubs and Sox fared in their first series back? The Sky, they continue to steamroll over the NBA, and the Fire are really in a playoff hunt? Say what? Oh boy, he's not gonna like this. Talk about the Fire. And of course, Stirring the Pot and What You Looking At. But first, this is The Loop, our Chicago sports roundup where we keep you in the loop.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Oh boy, Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire. Come on, get with it. Come on, the Chicago Fire, baby. Yes, they actually pulled off a win.
Not at the expense. Aaron throw, and it's tucked in. The Fire strike early in this one. And it is Shaqiri.
Shaqiri. Yes, Shaqiri with the long distance goal to take a 1-0 lead over in Vancouver with the Whitecaps FC. The Fire end up winning 3-0. 3-1. And this is the first time they've actually won out there in Vancouver. You had a header. You had a couple headers made in, and it was a pretty game. I mean, I actually watched it after watching that White Sox doubleheader, but it was nice to see the Chicago Fire actually win, and it looks like they're in the playoff hunt right now, which is weird because we weren't talking about them for a while because they were stinking it up. I mean, they were really off kilter. Like, they could not win a game, and lately they've been on fire with a couple wins, they've been climbing the standings. Right now, they sit at 7-5-10. Yes, you heard that right. 7-5-10, and still a playoff contender. That shows you the weak competition right now that's in the MLS. Right now, they sit in 9th place, so they're 2 spots out of the playoffs. So again, 7 wins, 5 defeats, 10 ties. So the Fire always had that. We had that song when we'd go to the Fire games. We never win, we always tie. That's the truth. That's the stone cold truth of the Chicago Fire. So looks like they need they're 4 games out. About 4 games out. So it is nuts. It is completely nuts, and it looks like they have a bunch of games to go through from here. They got one on the 30th against the Atlanta United. Then they got Charlotte, Philadelphia, New York City, Montreal, and New England to wrap up August. So I mean, they've got about 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 games left. If they can put a little run, they might make the playoffs, which is, I don't know. It's disgusting to see that mediocrity of the Chicago Fire. And we're a major city. We should have really good teams all across the board, up and down, all professional teams. But should go Chicago Fire. All right, moving on to the world champs. The Chicago Sky. The Sky are 8-2 their last 10. They lost to Liberty this past week, actually, which is weird. So it's weird to see that they actually took an L, but they have been steamrolling through the NBA back and forth. There's nothing that the Sky can't do. I really think that they can repeat. Again, they lost to the Liberty by 3 points. It was a tough nail-biting game. I was watching it, and it was back and forth. And it wasn't one of the Chicago's best games. I think Taurasi had like 2 points or something like that. But Candace Parker missed a putback towards the end of the regulation. It rimmed out, and then she ended up fouling somebody, so they ended up getting more points. So I think they were up by 1, and that would have got the Sky to win that game. So then they're losing 83-80. But next up on Tuesday today, they face the Aces. Then they'll face the Liberty again at home next Friday, and then a rematch against the Sun next Sunday at 12 p.m. So I mean, you've got a lot of games here. Not much time to solidify your number 1 seed, but this is not a time to start, getting your foot off the gas. Right now, they sit at the number 1 seed, but they can drop. They're 21-7. The Aces are 20-8. So that's going to be a great matchup to watch, because Eastern Conference monster versus the Western Conference monster. Let them battle it out, and that might be the WNBA final. But this is basketball, so you never know who's going to get hot at the end and take out one of those big seeds. So we are going to continue to support the Chicago Sky, who are 8-2 in their last 10, 11-2 at home, 10-5 away, with a 1-game losing streak. So we want to get back on the winning side. All right, let's take a pause for the cause, and we'll be right back up with 3 up and 3 down.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you will be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with E-Rock and Big Z. This is 3 Up and 3 Down.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
All right, baby, let's talk some baseball. So, what's going on with the Cubbies?
Go, Cubs, go! Go, Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gone.
All right, let's talk Cubs baseball. Cubs baseball. The Bats have come out on fire against the Phillies. They scored so many runs on the Phillies that they put third base coach Willie Harris on the IL with shoulder soreness from waving in all those runs. That's right. They put in 12 runs on their first game back. I mean, they really put a hurting on the Phillies. The Cubs really feasted on the Phillies pitching. They put up 15 runs on the first day, 15-2. I mean, that is a whooping. And then they put 6 more runs on the next day, 6-2. So this is really good that the pitching is actually coming around, because the pitching has been a little suspect for the Cubs. But 15-2, 6-2, and then 4-3 this past Sunday. And that was actually a pretty good game because they were up early and they gave up a couple runs towards the end. But I believe Smiley had a no-hitter through the 5th for that Sunday game. So right now, the Cubs are just really, really playing great baseball. They made a couple errors here and there and some fly balls, but it looks like, it's during the summer, it's super hard. Especially if you're not wearing glasses to catch that ball, you get distracted by the sun. You get in your eyes and you cannot see the ball anymore. There was a couple errors like that for the Cubs on Sunday. But the Cubs swept the Phillies. They swept them off their feet. Yan Gomes with 2 bombs. Drew Smiley was dealing out the ball, like I said. Had a no-hitter going through the 5th inning. So you got the Bats coming alive from uncharted people. No one expected Yan Gomes to have 2 bombs when you rest Wilson Contreras. So to get offense from him is always a plus. So despite the injuries and lack of talent on certain positions, the Cubs have a lot to look forward to for the rest of the year. Nico Hoerner's hitting over 300. Seiya Suzuki 273. Morel's at 283. Happy is at 279. Contreras, even though his average is a little lower than that at 258, he does has 14 bombs. So these guys are they're getting it together, and I'm glad that they're healthy and they're playing together, and it's starting to show, especially when you put up 15 runs on a team. So pitching was what really has been concerning me throughout the year with the Cubs. That's why they needed to focus so many, because a lot of the pitchers have over 4 ERA. So when you're giving up over 4 runs a game, and then your bullpen, which isn't that great, even though you have David Robinson at the end to close it out, but the ERA up and down the Cubs is not a good one, and this is clear. This is a clear direction that the management has made, because they drafted almost all pitching. They went heavy pitching in the draft, and that's what they're looking forward to develop pitching, and then if you need to buy some hitting, that's great. But I mean, they have a pretty good guys on the field that you can build around and trade for and sign in the next coming years. So next up for the Cubs, they got 2 at home versus the Lonely Pirates. The thing is that the Pirates always have the Cubs number for some reason. Those are always very competitive games. they're very competitive where the Pirates come in and elevate their play, or it's a blowout one way or the other. But that should be a 2-game series, a fun series at home. And then the Cubs go to the West Coast and play the Giants of San Francisco with Carlos Rodon and the rest of the gang out there. So, I mean, that's 6 games. I think they have Wednesday off for travel, but that's 6 games in 7 days. That looks like a rough trip to here and then go all the way to the West Coast. I expect them to split. I do expect them to split the 6 games. So if you're betting, look out for those lines. I will. I would definitely be looking at the lines to make some bets. But look at the trends. Look at the trends, especially with the Cubs hitting. You have a lot of guys who are hitting very well. Brent Morel is a good guy to put your money on for betting. Then you also say Seiya Suzuki. He's actually starting to warm up. So check those lines out. Make your bets on the Cubs. Win some money. All right, got some sad news to report. Former baseball outfielder Dwight Smith has passed away at the age of 58. Smith died of congenital heart and lung failure. This is reported by the Associated Press. The 1989 NL Rookie of the Year runner-up, Dwight enjoyed an 8-year Major League career that included 2 postseason trips with the Cubs and the Braves. And the Braves called him a beloved alumni member. So rest in peace, Mr. Dwight Smith. We enjoyed Hero on the North Side, and prayers and condolences to your family. All right, it is time to talk White Sox baseball. That's right, White Sox baseball. Those Sox are back to playing 500 ball.
White Sox, White Sox, go, go, White Sox. Let's go, 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 White Sox. We're with you all the way.
500 ball coming out of the break, losing the first 2 to the Guardians, and then winning the last 2. They went 10-9 in the 19-game stretch in the Central and looked a lot better than at the beginning of the year, despite all the same carousel of injuries back to back. Just it's the wheel turning. One comes in, one goes out. One goes in, one goes out. It's frustrating. All right, injury updates. Eloy is playing through some pain. Surprise, surprise. Spider-Man is a little hurt. You got Eloy playing mostly DH. He does play a little bit of the left field, and they'll take him out during the 5th or 6th. They don't want him playing full games out there. He's kind of a liability. Then you got Luis Robert dealing with headaches, lightheadedness, and blurred vision. So nothing has been confirmed on why this is being caused. What's the cause of this issue? But he's been put on a 10-day IL to try to rectify it. He's going to see doctors and specialists, and then the White Sox should get back to us next week and let us know what's going on with Lou Bob. All right, we also got Grandal back in the lineup, and he went 4 for 11 in this past series. So it's nice to see Grandal back. He did pick up a couple walks. He got 4 hits. I mean, he was raking in AAA, but AAA is AAA. There's got guys working on stuff. You got guys with lesser talent versus a major leaguer, a career major leaguer. So it's great to see Grandal back. But you still, right now, the White Sox have 3 catchers on the roster. So the White Sox have 3 catchers. Grandal, Reese McGuire, and Selby Zavala. So that's actually very, very rare to a team to carry 3 catchers, but we just brought one up. So you're gonna see Eloy and Grandal. Right now, what the White Sox have been doing is building up their depth. All these guys that have been playing more games than they should be, like Larry Garcia, and you got Josh Harrison, and you got Sheets and Vaughn, and all these guys being mixed and matched and playing different positions because of the injuries. They're starting to hit now. And it's nice. Larry had a two-run bomb on Sunday. He was actually not even supposed to play that day. Harrison had some hamstring tightness. Must have happened after he caught that line drive on Saturday night's game to close out the game. So again, it's a carousel of injuries, and until these guys get healthy, you're going to see a lot of 500 ball. What the good thing is that you did see Moncada starting to hit the ball now that he's been on the lineup on a consistent basis, but him hitting from the left side is still a little weak. So once he gets into the groove, if Moncada can get going and then the rest of the team can get going, guess what? We might make the playoffs. The Sox have 42 out runs since the All-Star game. They rank first in MLB, so the offense is waking up. It just has to be on a consistent basis. This is something I talked about a couple of episodes ago, is that they're not scoring with men on base, with two outs. They've had the bases loaded multiple times in multiple games and just cannot push a run or a crooked number really in, because they'll get one run and it's like, okay, well, that's not enough. You can't win with one run, and they don't really have a good record of one-run games. So the offense is starting to wake up as you get these guys back into the fold and everything, but right now it's still not good enough. Next up for the White Sox, it looks like they have a pair of games versus Colorado, and then they'll be back home to take on, I believe, the Athletics. Speaking of White Sox, Mr. White Sox, Minnie Minoso has been inducted officially into the MLB Hall of Fame.
The word icon is tossed around loosely, but when it comes to Minnie Minoso, it's not enough. To explain the gravity of his legacy, there has to be more. Add in trailblazer. He broke the color barrier for the Southside Nine and set a standard with a hard-nosed approach that terrified pitchers and wrestled away respect from those who didn't want him in the game.
El Minnie es nuestro Jackie Robinson. Creo que abrió el camino.
Let's throw in legend. Imagine playing in Major League Baseball games in 5 different decades. Yeah, he did that. Through his Hall of Fame career, Minnie sparked the imagination of an island of players who saw the Cuban comet soar. The list of Latino players he mentored is too long to list, but even now, his love and joy for the game is reflected in the faces of Moncada, Robert, Grandal, and Abreu.
Al final le tenemos que darle gracias a nuestros antecesores que pusieron el nombre de los peloteros cubanos en Grandes Ligas, sin mencionar nombres, pero no puedo dejar pasar sin contar con Minnie Minoso, y agradecido de los muchachos y agradecido de la institución por darnos la oportunidad.
Minnie would pass his wisdom on to anyone who would listen, with a laugh that would welcome you and a smile that could light up a diamond. For the outside world, icon will have to suffice. But on the South Side, it's simple. He's Mr. White Sox, and that's all that needs to be said.
That was Lawrence Holmes narrating a small piece that was produced by the White Sox and NBC Sports. Minoso played for 7 decades while mentoring many, many Cubans along the way. The generation directly following him, including Hall of Famer Tony Perez and Luis Tirant, holding him in high esteem as the Latin Jackie Robinson. And some of your White Sox favorites viewed him as their dad in many ways, or as his widow Sharon Rice Minoso called these players surrogate children. Without Minoso, the Cuban pipeline might not be as strong as it is today, because he paved the way. You had former players like Alexi Ramirez, you have Jose Abreu, you have Contreras, you have Grandal, who's also Cuban. I mean, you have a lot of Cuban players on this team, and they come because of what Minnie did. Minoso and his presence was a constant throughout the ballpark, and I can attest to that because anytime there was Sox Fest or the Grinder Fest at the ballpark or the garage sales, and he was there. He was there, and being honest, his picture. I have a picture with him, and I sat down with him, and I had like a good 4 or 5 minute conversation with him. He saw my baseball. He's asking about how my parents are and how's my family and what am I doing and am I happy? Is everything okay? How's my health? Literally, we having a good 4 or 5 minute conversation. This man didn't have to do that. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know me from Adam. He was genuinely interested to hear what I had to say and how everything was going. He doesn't have to do that. This is why he's Mr. White Sox. That picture that I have with him, of him signing my baseball, me sitting next to him, and I'm cheesy, and he's super cheesy. Reminds me pretty much of hanging out with my grandfather. He was the person who lit up the room, and you just want to absorb a little bit of that light. And once you did, you felt so much better. You did. Those are my treasure. My 3 treasure thing is the replica statue the baseball that's signed by Minnie, and the picture of us together as he signed the baseball. Those are my 3 treasured things. Like, I have a lot of White Sox memorabilia, but those have so much feeling because of how he treated me, how special he made me feel. There's really not that many people, players or celebrities that are going to take that time. And you know what? It was very genuine. Very genuine. All right, so Minoso, just like Jackie Robinson before him, was met with racism from white players earlier on in his career. He was hit on the backside by Hal Newhouser just a few innings after Minoso hit a home run off the pitcher. Newhouser yelled, "You N-word. You're not supposed to hit a homer." Minoso responded with the iconic line, "What can I say? I'm black." And I'm pretty sure he gave him the shoulder shrug. Minoso played parts of 20 seasons in the majors, hitting .299, .387, .461 over 8,223 career plate appearances and receiving 13 total All-Star selections. Minoso won 3 Gold Gloves as well. He became only the second player to play Major League Baseball for 5 different decades, after Bill Veeck activated him briefly in 1976 and 1980 at the age of 50 and 54, followed by 1-game stints in 1993 and 2003 for the St. Paul Saints. It's a little side note, Jerry Reinsdorf had a plan to put Minoso and activate him at the end of the 93 season, but looks like the White Sox players nixed that during that season. In 1983, the jersey number was retired by the White Sox, and in 2004, a statue was erected at Guaranteed Rate Field on the concourse and was unveiled. He was a Negro League All-Star, a Major League Baseball All-Star, and a member of the Cuban Baseball Hall of Fame and the Mexican Professional Baseball Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Minnie Minoso, his friends, his family, and all those he had an impact on, like myself. This honor is so well-deserved, and we should all take the time to honor him today and every day.
No, he's our Jackie Robinson. Yes, he is. By the way, I used number 9 all my minor league career with the San Diego Padres. When I got the White Sox, obviously, hey, I went number 9. The guy said,
I didn't know that.
Yes, and say, nope. Say, why? Minnie Minoso have it. And like, all right, you got to use another number. Willie Thompson, rest in peace, Chicken Willie. And he said, well, my heroes in Venezuela is number 13, David Concepcion. That's why I changed from 9 to 13. And my number in Venezuela, 9, it was in Winter League, was number 9 too. But Minnie, you can talk about Minnie, what he did on the field.
Yeah.
When he did off the field, to me, was bigger. White Sox fans love him. Baseball people love him. Mm-hmm. The respect they have for him. And I think Minnie, rest in peace, he got the best life anybody can have. And I can picture Minnie, because I know lead that era, how they treat them back then. Yeah. A lot of people talking about Jackie, but Jackie speak English. Jackie went to schools. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Minnie Minoso just come from another country. To me, I think it was easier, because coming from where he come from to the United States but he got one thing on mind: be a baseball player. Yep. And he did very well, man. Great. I'm so happy to see him Hall of Fame. Me and Minnie, great friends. We had something going on back and forth for like almost 2 years. Then we cleared the air out. It had confused, but something happened with the White Sox. But thank God we cleaned up. And I'm so happy to see him. I was a little upset because, they wait for him to die to bring him to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, it's like, but it is where he belongs to be.
All right, fans, we'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you will be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
Hey, what's up? This is Lex Cruz from Jungle AE Recording Studios and Illinois Media School, and you are now listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. You know what time it is. It is time for Stirring the Pot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got nobody to argue with but you guys who are listeners. So I wanted to ask this one question. Are you a Choco Taco fan? All right. Choco Taco. So Choco Taco looks like it's been bought out by the Klondike company, and it looks like it's going to be discontinued. What? Say what? How and why would you discontinue a Choco Taco? Are you a fan of the Choco Taco, ladies and gentlemen? I am definitely a fan of the original Choco Taco. So it is a waffle cone, looks like a taco, and it's got vanilla ice cream with chocolate swirl in it, and then it's covered with a chocolate top, like it's dipped in chocolate with peanuts. How can you not like all these things? And second of all, why would you discontinue it? Ladies and gentlemen, we need to bring back the Choco Taco. All right, so go to your local grocery store and buy like a bunch in bulk, man. You've got to. This is a staple. This is a staple of the ice cream truck, and it looks like they're going to discontinue it if people are not buying it. This is insane. All right, so go out there and get yourself a Choco Taco. Enjoy it. You know what? Take a picture of you eating Choco Taco. Tag me. Tag the podcast. Tag 606 Media. Tag us all. Mike Logic, E-Rock, myself, Jay Soto, Gigantor. Tag us all of you taking a bite out of a Taco, and let's blow it up. Let's make it viral again. All right. All right. Before we get out of here, what are y'all watching? What are y'all watching that isn't sports? All right. So. I got a lot of time. And I'm not bragging or complaining, but I got like 3 more weeks before I gotta go, be serious again and be an adult. But I've been watching some stuff, and there's some pretty cool stuff that's been out there right now. And I'm gonna start off with these 2 movies that I watched this week. The first one is The Terminal List with Chris Pratt. This was an exciting movie. Very, very good movie. Chris Pratt does a great job. I'm a huge fan of Chris Pratt. This is a thriller, a definite thriller. It has to deal with PTSD and like the Navy SEALs, and they don't believe that someone sabotaged his SEAL team and so forth, and it becomes a big mystery of who can you trust, who you cannot trust, and so forth. And at some point, as you're watching the movie, you kind of like, oh no, well, he's got PTSD. I don't think he's really telling the truth. So it's a really good movie. Great action, great writing, great acting. It is go get your popcorn ready and sit down and enjoy that flick. So The Terminal List with Chris Pratt, that's going to get 2 thumbs up. Another movie that I watched this week was The Gray Man on Netflix with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans and Billy Bob Thornton. This was directed by the Russo brothers who did, I think they did one of the Avengers movies, and they also did the Captain America movie. So if you know the Russo brothers, they do a lot of good work. So you had Ryan Gosling, he's so cute, and Chris Evans, he's so hot, in the movie, and old Billy Bob Thornton. So you got Ryan Gosling, who's plucked out of prison for killing his dad because his dad was abusive, and Billy Bob Thornton picks him out of prison and makes him a CIA agent. or a operative, because he's not really on the book. So that's why they call him the gray man. And essentially, it looks like the CIA has a bunch of these, and stuff starts going wrong, and you have Chris Evans that's hired to take out Ryan Gosling. So it is an action-packed movie from the point that they tell Ryan Gosling that he's going to be a gray man all the way through the end. It is nonstop action, great fighting scenes, great special effects, great scenes where there's cars crashing and trains, and great tactical work done by the staff there, or the production company. But it is a non-stop action movie. So if you're one of those guys and gals that love action movies, this is something right up your alley. You have a bunch of good-looking actors. The writings can be a little corny when it comes to Chris Evans. For me, Chris Evans is Captain America, but a lot of the lines sounded like Ryan Reynolds wrote them. So that's snarky sarcasm. So expect that out of Chris Evans, and it kind of threw me off for a little, but I'm gonna rewatch it again. And this is definitely a movie that you can watch over and over and enjoy every time. All right, y'all. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Great Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to greatclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 and use that at checkout. That is 15% off your order if you used TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts now. And don't forget to visit our guy Danny and his friends at acsi.tech and check out the career section. Start a new and exciting career in the communications industry. Go to acsi.tech. That is acsi.tech, and click on careers to apply today. All right, the Shy Native Radio Podcast is now available on all major platforms: Mike, Logic, Ideal, and Throat EMC. Talk about sports, movies, and all types of ill Go and check them out now. And a very special event is coming to you live and direct. Oh yeah, Music in the Woods, the music festival on August 13th. It's going to be at Big Bend Lake in Des Plaines, Illinois, off of Bender Road and Golf Road. Ideal, Mike, Logic, Fury, Greenlight Music, AM Early Morning, I Am God, John Bovey, Rich Sonny, Doc Watson. These names get crazier and crazier, but lots of great acts. You're gonna have sounds by DJ Hunt. You're gonna have Zumba with Nacho at 9:30 to 10:30. So Zumba with Nacho, the person. You're not gonna have nachos with Zumba. So make sure you get that right. You got music performances start at 11 a.m. I'll go all the way through 7 p.m. You'll have food vendors, so there'll be tons of food there you can buy. You're gonna have tons of merch that you can buy, and so much more. So if you want to get your tickets, only one place to get them. Tickets are available now at idealraps.com. That's IDEAL raps.com. RAPS. That's right. Idealraps.com. Get your tickets now. This is an all ages event. Tickets are needed for people or persons of 12 and above. Food vendors and food and merchandise vendors will be on site. Shout out to Ronish, Panic, Serious Beats, and Custom Made for the beats we played on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for your moment, merch, and gear. Check us out on social media. You can find us at True Chi Fans on Twitter, on TikTok, and find us on Facebook, IG, and Spotify. Reach out to us at our email. We want to hear from you. Reach us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all. For E-Rock, this is Big Z. We'll see you next week for episode 107. Until then, be good to each other. For the love of sports.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos. Show's over, show's over, show's over.